Welcome, Shauna'h. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kate.
I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having me.
it. Yeah, and thanks for being part of Origin.
Yes, I've been loving it.
Awesome. So I know you have 2 twin boys.
I do.
5 years old. They're going to start kindergarten in the fall.
Yes.
Such a big deal.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be such a big deal, but it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, but I
Yeah, you've got a
already
little
get
bit
a
of
little
time.
sad about it.
Yeah.
And you also work full time at Bates College.
I do.
And then you have a business as well in direct selling with Rodan & Field Skincare.
Yes, I do.
And then an Etsy shop making jewelry.
Yeah.
So you're a busy woman.
I am.
Do you
I
have
have a
anything
lot.
else that I missed?
Not business-wise. I mean,
Okay.
I have like other extracurriculars and
What are your
volunteering.
other extracurriculars?
I volunteer with Catholic Charities. I work with a refugee family up in Lewiston. Just sort of being a friend to them, helping them out, working with them to improve their English and whatever they need. I help them, manage their transition to the new country.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you have a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very impressed. So where were you in your life first of all, how did you come across Origin?
I came across Origin because I've been following Sarah Jenks for years.
Oh.
And Sarah had posted on her Insta stories about Origin. And, I trust Sarah, I love her work. And so when I saw that she was recommending something, of course I took a look at it. And what I really liked about my first impression of Origin was that it seemed to be geared towards people that are entrepreneurs and starting a business, but it also had written right into it the fact that there's going to be mothers that are doing this, and how do you balance those two things and give priority to both of those things. And that's something that I hadn't really seen represented in the marketplace up to that point. And I also really liked how affordable it was. It was easy to think, I could just try this out and jump in and see if this is the right fit without feeling like, it's a humongous financial contribution. I've got to prepare for this. I've got to, justify this to myself. I could say, I want to try this out. This looks great.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And then where were you in your life at that moment when Sarah made the recommendation? What was going on in your business, your work, with your mothering? Yeah,
so at that point, I had been in my business for less than a year. And I was, I think, sort of hitting a little bit of a slump, where I still loved it and it was still exciting to me, but there was so much else going on that it was hard to find time to really spend a lot of time there. And I felt like, how am I going to find extra time when I have so much else going on? I don't think I can do that. I can't wake up at 4 a.m. every day and go to sleep at midnight. And I'd also, the month before, I'd had a miscarriage, and I was still dealing with the emotional fallout from that and everything. And so I was in a rut. I was very much in a slump, and I felt apathy and overwhelm all at the same time and didn't really know what to do, so I was just doing nothing. And so Origin gave me something new to sort of spark me. I felt like, well, let me try this. This is different from other things I've done. Maybe this will be something that'll help me get back on my feet again without feeling like I need to invest a whole lot of time and money up front to do it. It's something I can just wade into the pool and see how it feels, and then we can go from there.
And what has been different about Origin than you've done other online programs, other memberships? Or?
Yeah, no, I always think I haven't done any other memberships really. I've tried some, free programs when, some of the other big female entrepreneurs would offer them. And that's really it. But I've always been interested in the paid courses, but there's so much content and it's such an investment that I always shied away from it. And I really loved those, but found it hard to keep that momentum going over time. And what I found that is different about Origin for me that's really refreshing is that I think you have a really realistic and practical view on starting a business when you're a mom. And for me, a lot of those other courses had this idea that, you have to have a day that you started out on the right foot and, you spend time leisurely making yourself breakfast. Maybe you go and do some yoga out on the back deck. and they're all beautiful, wonderful practices that I think would be really grounding.
Totally.
But that's just not, I can't do that. And I think a lot of women can't do that. We don't have 3 hours that we can carve out in the mornings when, you've got little people banging on your door at 6 a.m.
Mama!
and then it's over, then it's just the chaos of the morning, and then I don't stop until I get home. And so it was hard to think about integrating those types of practices into my life. And so what I've loved about your program is that you don't make those types of assumptions. If people have the time to do those things, they can do those things, but it's very much have this fit into your life, the way that your life is currently being led.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And when you signed up for Origin, what were you hoping to get out of it?
Definitely, I was hoping to get a kickstart. I wanted something different. I needed to change. I was not in a great mental space at the time, and I just wanted something to shake me out of that rut. And I didn't really quite know what Origin was going to be coming into it. I mean, I could, read some information from the page, but I wasn't sure what it was actually going to look like. So I don't think I had any preconceived notions of exactly what I want to get out of this, but I knew that I wanted something that was going to help shake things up a little bit and help me find a way to do all these things at once without sacrificing my health and my sleep or my mothering or one of these things. I wanted to find a way to fit all of that in a sustainable way.
Yeah. And what has been the most helpful part of Origin for you so far?
Oh, there's a lot that I've gotten out of it so far. I think what comes to mind immediately is looking at the energy of the day. And so I used to think that in order to run my business well, I had to add extra things and extra time into my day to do it. And from watching your videos about like your energy tracker and your daily planner and that there's a cycle for the day, I've learned that I can now do business things in the morning when I'm really full of vim and vigor and ready to go. And I can get more done in less time. So then I can take that off my mind so I can look at some of the other things that I've got going on and then maybe just check in with it at night. I don't have to, what I was doing before was waiting until the kids are in bed because that's the only free time I had, and then I'm exhausted. I had no energy to do anything that was going to be appealing to anybody because I was tapped out.
Yeah.
So that's been a big change for me. That's been really positive.
That's awesome to hear. And how has that shifted what's going on in your business?
I would say my business is definitely, I feel more energetic about it because I'm working it more consistently. I'm taking that self-care that I need to rejuvenate myself, so I've got the energy to do that. And I'm seeing an uptick in my business because of it. And because I'm more consistent, then people are, want to reach out with me more. I was always very hesitant about growing a team. I didn't think that was something I necessarily wanted to do or wasn't sure how to go about doing that. And so I just didn't do anything at all. And recently because I've been able to put the time in when I'm really energetic to talk about what I do and why I love it, I've now had people approaching me about joining my team and building something together. And that's been so meaningful to me to get to know people in that way and to know that because I felt confident enough to start reaching out and to then be more consistent about bringing that into my business, I'm now naturally seeing people come to me and want more information and want to join my team, and that's been really exciting.
So people are coming to you to join your team?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I was leaving Zumba class the other day and looked down at my phone and had somebody say, "Okay, I'm interested." I'm like, "Oh, I hadn't even talked to you." So that's really great. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love hearing that. And then how have things shifted in your personal life or in your mothering as a result of being part of Origin?
That's an ongoing project, I suppose. But what it's been helpful for me to do is to give myself a lot more grace. I always knew I needed to do that. We're always told that as mothers, that you need to not be so hard on yourself. But what's been helpful for me about Origin is that I can look at times of the day when I know I'm not being a great mom, because it's when I get home from work, usually, when I'm exhausted, my nerves are shot, there's a clamoring of little people that need you, and there's dinner to be made and all these things going on. And that was not a good those are not good hours for me, and I was really struggling with that and could never really find a way to make that better. I'm like, what do I need to do besides have a glass of wine every day when I come home? That's not really working either. And so what Origin has been helpful for is showing me that that's just naturally a tough time of day. There's a lot happening, your energy is just naturally low at that time. And also look at what's going on with the rest of this, with my own personal cycle, and how, is this a time of the month when it's just naturally, I'm not going to be feeling really particularly energetic or really feeling well at all. And that's allowed me to just sort of take a breath. And I don't feel like there's a magic solution to just, I can implement something and all of a sudden I'm a perfect, patient, loving mother in all ways for those 2 hours when I first come home. So it's going to be a process, but just not putting so much pressure on myself because of knowing these are the things that are going on has been really helpful for me.
That's really beautiful to hear. I love that. Have there been any other ahas or key learnings from being part of Origin that really stand out for you?
I really liked in the core content when you talked about the upward cycle of success. That was something it was completely foreign to me. I'd never heard that before. And so,
I made it up.
yeah, oh good. I hadn't missed something. But it was really helpful for me to learn to appreciate my own fertile voids and realizing that I was in one when I started Origin. And instead of feeling down on myself, well, why can't I just pick myself up and push myself and just get back into this? Just feeling that this time is important. And that's been this summer I've been growing a garden really for the first time, and that's all fit in so nicely with all of this and has taught me so many good life lessons about having fertile soil and planting things even when you don't necessarily feel like you're ready to plant them, but just plant them, and then we'll pull out some weeds and cultivate and see what comes of it. And so that's been really good for me to have these things all working together this summer.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So now that you're part of this community, how has being part of, yes, there's the content, but how has being part of the community affected your life or affected your business?
What's been really good is just to have a virtual room full of women that are having similar aha moments and similar struggles in their life, and to see how they're managing that and how everybody comes together and supports each other has been wonderful. It's a great group of women, and I'm excited to dive more deeply into that in the coming months.
Awesome. And then being part of Origin, this community with the content, with your business, with your volunteering, with your job, with your kids, what do you see for yourself? What do you desire in the coming months as this journey continues?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I think, truthfully, I'd like to start backing off of something, because I love everything that I do, and I feel like right now I'm in a good mental place where I can keep all these balls in the air that I'm juggling. But if anything starts to slip, I know I'm not going to be able to keep all those balls in the air any longer. So I don't really know what the solution is for it. I'm still discerning that. But ideally, I'd love to be able to, go down part-time in my day job, so that I can help, I can put the kids on the bus every morning and be there when they get home and spend those extra hours with them, and then have more time to focus on my side business as well and growing that to support us. So we'll see. It's a bit unknown right now, but that's the direction that I'm leaning towards working for.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So what do you think would have happened if you hadn't taken action and joined Origin? What do you think your life would be? Would it be different?
I think I'd be completely burned out, and I've been in that place a lot in the past, and I could see it coming like a freight train. I wouldn't be able to be working my side business as much as I am now, and that would be something that would really take away from the quality of my life. It's something that I'm really enjoying, and it's something that will give me the flexibility to ease off on my day job going forward, to spend more time with my family. And so if I had just kept trying to cram in those extra add-on hours to work a business, I couldn't have done it. It would have fallen apart for me. And so Origin has really allowed me to think more creatively about my time and my day and my months and my cycles, and how best to take all these puzzle pieces and plug them in a way that is really sustainable for me, as opposed to just what I had tried to do in the past, which was just running hard and hoping that I would get everything together at the end, and that never happened, and yet I just kept trying to do it over and over again. So having this new way of being has really helped prevent some burnout from me.
So good, so good. Is there anything else that you think it's important for women to know, other entrepreneurial moms, about Origin or just about this kind of new way of looking at business and life?
Definitely the top two things for me have been looking at my days differently in terms of where I can plug in to maximize my energy. But also what's been really meaningful to me is to see women really talking for the first time about our bodies and how that plays a role in what we do every day, and our cycles. And that's something that I've always known a lot about. I've always tracked my cycles, and I've been really in tune with that, but never really applied that to what my days are like, or giving myself that type of a grace, and understanding that because my hormones are doing this right now, or my body is doing this right now, it means that this thing in my business or my mothering isn't really a great choice for me right now, and I should maybe think about doing that in a couple of weeks instead, or vice versa. I can really capitalize on this energy right now and, go out in the yard with the kids and put the tent up and like play around, something that I might not have energy for later in the month. So, and I feel like women don't know a lot. We're not taught a lot about our bodies and our cycles. And to have that understanding is really powerful, and I think is really opening a lot of eyes to what do we put into our bodies that affect these natural cycles, and how can we be the best us? Thinking about, Elisa Vitti's interview that you did with her and all of her work. It's been wonderful to see that growing in the Origin community, and I think that's something that women entrepreneurs, moms, women in general could really benefit from.
Yeah, it's such a huge piece.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're like, our bodies run everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just treat it like it's a separate part of our life.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing your story and for coming here today. It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And congrats on everything you're creating.
Thank you very much.
To hear about.